Chosen one, take a moment and simply be here. Let the noise settle for just long enough for your spirit to recognize where you are. You did not arrive at this message by chance. There are no accidents in the realm of the spirit. Heaven has a way of placing the right word in front of you at the exact moment your soul is ready to receive it. Something deep within you has been stirring. You felt a quiet pressure, a pull, a sense that something is shifting around you even if you couldn't explain it. That feeling was not anxiety, and it was not imagination. It was alignment. It was heaven moving you toward this very moment. For a long time, your journey has felt heavy. You walked through seasons where the reasons for your hardships weren't clear. You saw doors close in your face, even after you gave everything you could. People left your life without explanation. Opportunities you prayed for seemed to hover just beyond reach. Your heart wondered if you were forgotten. Your spirit questioned if you had misheard your calling. Yet through every silent night, every lonely step, every unanswered prayer, heaven was shaping you. You were not being punished. You were being prepared. The chosen walk a path that most cannot see or understand. The calling on your life carries weight, and that weight cannot rest on a soul that has not been strengthened. The pressure you felt was necessary, not to break you, but to fortify the parts of you that your future will rely on. What felt like delay was actually development. What felt like isolation was protection. What felt like loss was alignment. Heaven has been arranging your steps long before you recognized the pattern. In Scripture, there is a word for this kind of moment, kairos, the appointed time, the divine intersection where preparation meets destiny. You are standing in that moment now. The shift is no longer coming. It has already begun. The vision that once felt distant is now within reach. Prayers that once felt unanswered are now unfolding quietly in the unseen. Your spirit can feel it even before your eyes can see it, because breakthrough always announces itself internally first. This is the moment where your story turns. Not in chaos, not in noise, but in awareness. The same experiences that once confused you are now revealing their purpose. The weight you carried was proof that you were chosen to carry something greater than what others could see. Every tear, every disappointment, every silent battle was building the foundation for this exact season. You have not been late. You have not been overlooked. You have not missed your moment. You were simply arriving at the part of the story where everything begins to make sense. Heaven was not withholding anything from you. Heaven was waiting for you to become the version of yourself who could receive it, hold it, and grow with it. Now the timing is right. The preparation is complete. The atmosphere has shifted in your favor. The unseen is aligning with the seen. Chosen one, this is your appointed moment. You are exactly where you are meant to be, and you are right on time. Chosen one, the shift you have been sensing is not approaching. It is already unfolding, and tonight marks the moment where it becomes undeniable. There are seasons in life when change happens gradually, slowly shaping the edges of who you are. But then there are moments where heaven steps in directly and accelerates everything at once. This is one of those moments. The atmosphere around your life is no longer the same. You may not see the full manifestation yet, but your spirit already knows something has changed. The peace you feel, the clarity returning to your mind, the steadiness in your chest, the way old fears no longer have the same grip, these are signs of transformation already in motion. There were nights when you cried without understanding the heaviness you carried. There were days when your inner world felt like a storm that refused to break. You endured silent battles that no one knew you were fighting. And now, all of those moments are converging into purpose. Heaven never wastes pain. What once felt like suffering was actually the refining that made room for the glory that is now awakening inside you. Everything you went through has been leading to this very threshold. Tonight is not symbolic, it is catalytic. This is the ignition point. The moment the internal alignment begins to appear externally, the version of you that was shaped in silence is stepping forward. The identity that was hidden under endurance, patience, and resilience is being revealed. You are rising into the person you were always designed to become. The transformation is not something you have to force. You don't need to chase it or prove it. You simply need to allow it. Transformation in the spirit does not require effort. It requires surrender. What is shifting tonight is the seat of your identity. You are no longer rooted in survival mode. The world trained you to brace for impact, to anticipate loss, to expect disappointment. But heaven has interrupted that rhythm. The new rhythm is restoration. The new tempo is peace. The new atmosphere is confidence without arrogance and purpose without pressure. You are stepping into the version of yourself that does not react to life but directs life. You are moving from living by external circumstance to living from internal clarity. This is why certain relationships, environments, and habits no longer feel the same. The resonance has changed. Your spirit is rising to a frequency that old patterns cannot coexist with. Don't be alarmed by the sudden distance you feel from people or situations that once felt comfortable. It is not loss, it is elevation. Your spirit is releasing what cannot follow you into this next dimension. The transformation is already making decisions on your behalf. Tonight also marks the moment where your faith shifts from belief to embodiment. You are no longer hoping to become. You already are. And now your life will begin to reflect what your spirit has known all along. You have crossed the invisible threshold that separates preparation from manifestation. This change is not loud. It is steady. It is grounded. It carries authority. The kind of authority that does not require explanation. When you wake tomorrow, you may not see fireworks, but you will feel alignment. You will notice the air around you is lighter. You will notice your mind is clearer. You will notice that your reactions are slower, your responses wiser, and your presence stronger. Transformation begins quietly, but its results are undeniable. Tonight, heaven is not just shifting your circumstances. Heaven is shifting you. This is the moment where stillness becomes strength, clarity becomes direction, and surrender becomes power. Chosen one, the transformation has already begun. Let it unfold. Chosen one, there comes a point in every destined life where the spirit begins to remember what the mind has forgotten. You are stepping into that point now. This is not simply growth or maturity. This is recovery of identity. Before the world shaped you, before pain hardened you, before disappointment taught you to lower your expectations, there was a version of you that walked in truth, clarity, and divine awareness. That version of you is rising again. For years, you carried a quiet conflict inside you. You knew there was something different about you, something deeper, something others couldn't see or understand. You felt emotions more intensely, loved more sincerely, forgave more willingly, and sensed danger long before it became visible. But because the world did not reflect what you felt inside, you began to question your own fullness. You shrunk yourself to fit into spaces that could not hold your spirit. You learned how to silence your voice to avoid being misunderstood. You hid your calling to avoid being mocked. You dimmed your light to avoid making others uncomfortable. And slowly, without noticing, you began to lose touch with who you really were. But identity does not disappear. It only sleeps until the appointed moment. This awakening is not coming from motivation or inspiration. It is coming from the deepest place within you, the place where God planted your purpose before birth. The world may have taught you doubt, but heaven is now restoring memory. You are remembering your strength, your voice, your intuition, your worth. And more importantly, you are remembering that your sensitivity was never weakness, it was discernment. Your compassion was never naivety, it was spiritual sight. Your depth was never a burden, it was a calling. This awakening is not about becoming someone new. It is about returning to the truth of yourself. And as this truth rises, it is dismantling everything that was built on fear. For so long, you tried to earn love, security, belonging, respect. But now something in your spirit refuses to beg. Something in you refuses to chase. Something in you refuses to settle. That is identity reawakening. The soul cannot pretend once it remembers itself. You may notice now how certain conversations feel too shallow, how certain environments feel too small, how certain relationships feel too heavy. This is not rejection, it is resonance. Your spirit is outgrowing what was only meant to hold you temporarily. You are no longer trying to fit into rooms that shrink you. You are no longer seeking validation from those who cannot recognize your value. You are no longer apologizing for your light. You are standing up straighter not with arrogance, but with remembrance. And as your identity rises, your discernment sharpens. You can now see who speaks from truth and who speaks from insecurity. You can see who comes with pure intention and who comes to drain your spirit. You can see which doors are divine and which are distractions wrapped in opportunity. This clarity is not learned, it is remembered. It is your soul reclaiming its original language. This awakening also brings peace, not the quiet peace of avoidance, but the powerful peace of alignment. You are no longer wrestling with who you were or who you thought you had to be. You are stepping back into the identity heaven designed, the identity that cannot be shaken by rejection, loss, or opinion. The identity that does not perform, it simply exists and radiates. Chosen one, you are not just remembering who you are remembering why you are. Everything that ever made you feel different was evidence of your calling. Everything that made you feel like you didn't belong was proof that you were never meant to blend in. You were born to stand out, not through effort, but through essence. This is your awakening. The real you is rising. And now the world must adjust. If what you just read stirred something inside your spirit, that is not coincidence. That is recognition. Your soul is remembering itself. Take a moment to acknowledge it publicly. Comment below. I am remembering who I am. This is your declaration of alignment, your agreement with heaven's timing. Chosen one. The time of being misunderstood, underestimated, and overlooked is ending. You have walked through seasons where your intentions were questioned, your spirit was misread, and your heart was taken for granted. You endured moments where your silence was interpreted as weakness, and your patience was mistaken for surrender. You carried burdens that no one saw, and fought battles that no one acknowledged. You held your tears behind closed doors, while others spoke confidently about things they never lived through. Yet even in the quiet weight of that pain, you did not lose your tenderness. You did not become hardened or bitter. You remained kind even when life was unkind to you. This is why heaven has chosen this moment to vindicate you. Divine justice is not loud. It does not announce itself with revenge or spectacle. It unfolds in alignment. It happens when the truth that has been buried under misunderstanding begins to rise to the surface in a way no one can deny. Vindication is not proving others wrong, it is simply being revealed as who you have always been. Your name is being restored, not through argument or defense, but through the evidence of your transformation. There were people who dismissed you because they could not comprehend your depth. There were moments when your heart was handled carelessly by those who did not deserve access to it. You were made to feel small in rooms you were called to grow beyond. Yet, through all of it, your spirit remained intact. You didn't allow the cruelty of others to silence your compassion. You didn't let betrayal turn your heart cold. You kept moving with grace, even when grace was not offered to you. That grace is now returning to you, multiplied. Heaven has been recording everything, the words spoken behind your back, the moments your loyalty was taken advantage of, the hours you spent praying for people who did not pray for you. None of it was unseen. None of it was ignored. When you chose peace over retaliation, you invited God into the situation, and when God steps into a situation, the story cannot end in defeat. Vindication means the story is turning. The ones who doubted you will remember your strength. The ones who overlooked you will recall your value. The ones who tried to dim your light will have no choice but to witness its expansion. And the irony is, you will not have to say a word. Your growth will speak. Your peace will speak. Your elevation will speak. Your presence will speak. The proof will be undeniable. This is not about triumph over others. This is about alignment with God's original design for your life. Your suffering was not punishment. It was preparation. You were being refined for a level of purpose that could not be accessed through ease alone. The pain you carried was not a sign of abandonment, but of selection. You were being shaped into someone who can hold influence without losing humility, power without losing compassion, and authority without losing love. What is coming now is restoration, not partial, not symbolic, complete restoration. The pieces of your life that felt scattered are coming back together with greater order and purpose. The opportunities that once slipped away will return in a form that honors who you have become. The connections that are meant for you will approach with respect and clarity. The doors that closed will be replaced with doors designed specifically for your spirit, not your past. And the most profound part of this vindication is that your heart will remain soft. You will not need to say, "I told you." You will not need to prove anything. Those who once misjudged you will recognize the strength, purity, and resilience you carried all along. Not because you demanded recognition, but because truth reveals itself when the season is ripe. Chosen one. Justice has already begun. Redemption is unfolding. You will not rise with bitterness. You will rise with grace. And the world will know, not because you shouted your worth, but because God has spoken your name. Chosen one. Your authority does not rise from force, volume, or effort. It comes from the depth of who you have become. True authority is not something you project. It is something you embody. And the journey you have walked has shaped you into someone who no longer needs to convince, prove, or explain. You are entering a realm where your presence speaks before your voice does. This is the maturity that emerges when a soul has been refined, not through applause or recognition, but through silence, surrender, and endurance. You have crossed through seasons where your voice felt unheard, where your truth felt unseen, and where your heart felt misunderstood. But instead of breaking you, those seasons grounded you. They taught you to hear God in quiet places. They taught you to move with intention rather than impulse. They taught you to choose peace over performance. And now, your authority rests not in what you say, but in who you are. People will begin to notice this shift before you notice it yourself. Your presence will feel different. Your silence will carry weight. Your patience will feel like strength instead of sacrifice. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere will adjust, not because you demand it, but because your spirit sets the tone. Some will feel calm in your presence without knowing why. Others will feel exposed. This is the nature of authority birthed from authenticity. It does not seek attention, yet it cannot be ignored. Quiet authority is not passive. It is focused. It is rooted. It is secure. It does not chase validation because it already knows where it stands. It does not react to chaos because it knows chaos cannot lead it. It does not fear judgment because it has already been judged by heaven and found chosen. This is the authority of someone who has walked through fire and did not burn. Someone who has faced storms and remained standing. Someone who has been reduced by life, only to rise greater than before, not louder, just clearer. The strength you carry now is not the strength of defense, but of alignment. You do not need to argue your position. You are the position. Quiet authority is felt most in moments where others expect reaction but instead witness restraint. When someone tries to provoke you and you remain still, that is power. When others speak with urgency and you answer with clarity, that is power. When the world pushes you to rush and you choose patience, that is power. Authority does not shout because truth does not need to compete, and something in you has settled. The inner tension that once pulled you in different directions has resolved. Your spirit and your purpose have synchronized. You no longer move based on who approves of you. You move based on alignment with God. You move with awareness and discernment. You move with the understanding that your calling is not to impress but to fulfill. This is why your voice now carries weight. Your words have been shaped by lived experience, resilience, and revelation. When you speak, it will not be many words. It will be the right ones. People will listen differently. People will feel differently. Not because you are demanding influence, but because your spirit has grown into its rightful stature. The seat of authority is not a throne people can see. It is a position in the spirit realm where your identity and your purpose meet. You are sitting in that seat now, and from this place, you do not chase outcomes. You command them quietly through alignment, intention, and faith. You have become someone who changes rooms without raising your voice, someone who shifts situations without forcing them, someone who leads not by power over others, but by power within yourself. This is what true maturity looks like. This is what real spiritual strength feels like. This is what it means to walk as one who is chosen, not loud, not aggressive, not seeking, simply being. Your presence has become your influence. Your stillness has become your power. Your identity has become your authority. Chosen one, your transformation is becoming visible, not in grand declarations or dramatic announcements, but in the quiet radiance of your being. What is rising within you now cannot be explained through language alone. It is the glow of someone who has walked through darkness and did not lose their light. It is the clarity of someone who has been emptied and filled again, not with noise, but with truth. This radiance does not need to draw attention. It simply is, and because it is, others cannot help but notice. There is a new softness in your eyes, but it is not weakness. It is depth, the depth of someone who has felt every emotion to its end and found wisdom on the other side. There is a calm in your voice that does not ask to be heard, yet others listen more closely now. Your presence speaks in a language that has no sound. It carries memory, it carries resilience, it carries grace. This radiance is not the result of effort. You did not force it into existence. It emerged as the byproduct of surrender. You stopped fighting for control, and peace stepped in. You stopped searching for acceptance, and identity settled into place. You stopped fearing loss, and found that nothing destined for you can be taken. The glow you now carry is the glow of someone who has returned home to themselves. People will respond to this radiance in different ways. Some will feel drawn to you, inexplicably comforted by your presence. They may not know why, but being near you feels like exhaling for the first time in years. Your spirit offers rest without effort. This is what happens when someone aligns with their true nature. They become a safe place for those who are weary, but others will feel unsettled around you. Not because you have done anything to provoke discomfort, but because your light reveals what has been hidden. Your authenticity makes pretension impossible. Your sincerity dissolves performance. Your peace unmasks inner conflict. The same glow that heals, some will challenge others to confront themselves. This, too, is part of your calling. Your radiance is not about beauty in the worldly sense. It is about presence. Presence is the energy of someone who is not fragmented internally, someone who is not pulled in 10 directions at once, someone whose soul, mind, and body are finally moving in the same rhythm. Presence is when your spirit is seated firmly inside you, not scattered by fear, anxiety, or doubt. Presence is when you are truly here, not lost in what has already passed or what has not yet arrived. This presence cannot be faked. It is the signature of alignment, and alignment always reveals itself effortlessly. Notice how you no longer rush to fill silence. Notice how you no longer feel the need to defend your perspective. Notice how you no longer absorb the emotional storms of others. You have become grounded. You have become centered. Your spirit has become its own sanctuary, and others will feel it. Your radiance is the permission you give others to remember themselves. Your calm reminds them that peace is possible. Your clarity reminds them that truth is attainable. Your stillness reminds them that strength is not in noise, but in rootedness. You are becoming a mirror, not the kind that reflects appearance, but the kind that reflects essence. Some will see themselves clearly for the first time through you. Others will see the distance between who they are and who they pretend to be. Either reaction is divine. Your role is not to control the response, but to remain who you are. This is the radiance of a soul in alignment with heaven. It cannot be dimmed. It cannot be replicated. It cannot be hidden. Your glow is not loud, but it is unforgettable. It does not demand attention, but it commands remembrance. You are shining now, not for display, but for purpose. Not to be seen, but to reveal. Your presence has become your message. Your light has become your language. Your spirit has become your signature. Chosen one. What is happening in your life right now goes far beyond you. This awakening is not just personal transformation, it is generational restoration. You are not simply stepping into a new chapter, you are ending chapters that began long before you were born. You are the turning point in your lineage. The shift that is occurring in your spirit is the shift your ancestors prayed for but did not live to see. You are the fulfillment of prayers spoken in whispers by those who walked before you. Every family carries patterns, cycles of silence, trauma, fear, scarcity, emotional suppression, unspoken wounds, repeated heartbreak, dreams that never reached completion. Some families pass down love and wisdom, others pass down survival and pain. But heaven chooses one in every generation to break what was carried for too long. One person who refuses to collapse under the weight of history. One person who confronts what everyone else accepted. One person whose spirit does not bow to what broke those before them. That one is you. The battles you faced in your early life were not coincidence, they were inheritance. Not the inheritance you wanted, but the inheritance you were chosen to transform. The heaviness you carried did not begin with you, but it is ending with you. Your tears have been cleansing rivers flowing backward through generations. Your healing is not linear, it is ancestral. The moments where you felt alone were not abandonment, they were initiation. Heaven separated you so you could see clearly, so you could break cycles instead of repeating them. The loneliness you experienced was the space required for you to remember yourself before the world tried to shape you. You were being trained to lead your lineage forward. This is why your spirit has always felt older than your age. This is why you have always sensed pain that was not fully yours. This is why you have always carried compassion that seemed to have no origin. You were born with memory in your bones, memory of what needs to be healed, memory of what must be restored, memory of the legacy your family could not yet hold. And now, heaven is releasing the strength to finish what began long before you. When you forgive, the lineage heals. When you choose love instead of bitterness, the chain breaks. When you build what no one before you could build, the timeline shifts. When you speak truth where others stayed silent, the cycle ends. Your bloodline is not being repaired through perfection. It is being repaired through awareness, compassion, and spiritual courage. You are not just changing your future, you are rewriting the past. Every ancestor who carried pain without language is breathing through you. Every ancestor who dreamed but lacked opportunity is rising through you. Every ancestor who fought but could not win is being completed through you. You are the evidence that their suffering was not in vain. And the blessing that follows a cycle breaker is not just personal, it is generational. Your children will not carry what you carried. Your family will speak words that once felt impossible. Peace, abundance, clarity, love, stability, wholeness. You are restoring the honor of your name. You are restoring the meaning of belonging. You are restoring the direction of destiny. Chosen one. Your healing is the turning point. Your obedience is the inheritance. Your awakening is the awakening of a lineage. Chosen one, the journey that brought you here was not accidental. Every lesson, every tear, every moment of stillness has led to this point. You are standing at the threshold of a new season, not one you must chase, but one you are already walking into. The internal transformation has taken root. The external shift will now follow. This is the moment where you stop waiting and begin living as the one who has already been chosen, appointed, and aligned. Your identity is clear. Your spirit is steady. Your authority is active. You no longer move from fear or lack. You move from purpose. The old version of you, the one shaped by survival, doubt, and delay, has completed its assignment. You are stepping forward as the one who remembers, the one who knows, the one who carries light with intention. From this moment forward, you do not return to what drained you. You do not negotiate your worth. You do not apologize for your glow. You do not shrink to make others comfortable. You walk with grace, discernment, and quiet confidence, knowing that what is meant for you recognizes you instantly and responds without resistance. Your path is open, your timing is aligned, your spirit is awakened, and heaven is already ahead of you, preparing every step you will take next. So now, speak this into your life, not as hope, but as truth. I am ready. I accept my calling. I rise into my identity. I walk in my authority. I carry the light of my lineage forward. The cycle ends with me. The blessing begins through me. I am chosen for this moment, and I step into it fully. Chosen one, if your spirit feels the confirmation, seal this moment. Do not let this awakening pass quietly. Comment 777 as a declaration. My alignment is complete. 1. Save this so you can return to it whenever the world tries to make you forget. Share it so another chosen one can rise with you. Your new season is not coming. It has begun.